JJ.
Hey, Roger.
Oculus Rift hits retail stores before pre-order consumers. And guess what? They don't give a fuck about their base consumers.
My mic's not activated because I just had to throw some stuff.
They don't give a fuck about their base in Naruto.
I think we're all a little bit upset about
Naruto.
this. Neil.
Naruto.
Fuck Oculus.
Naruto. Okay, so Oculus Rift is going to hit retail stores, Best Buy's 46 locations, or 48. Who really gives a shit? Everyone's still mad. Before pre-order consumers. Now, as somebody who pre-ordered an Oculus and promptly sold it on the internet,
GG.
definitely kind of bullshit. I mean, my pre-order got delayed all the way up until next month. So it was supposed to show up in April, and now here I am with a thumb up my ass waiting for the Oculus to show up. Meanwhile, they're sending out units in extremely limited quantities to Best Buys. Really, the only thing that... One, not only is this a PR disaster, but two, all it tells me is that they really don't give a shit about the people who originally pre-ordered, their unit. I mean, there are people who have been waiting a goddamn long amount of time. I mean, if you ordered 45 minutes after they opened pre-orders, you're in the same boat as me. You're waiting until fucking next month. So,
Yeah,
go ahead.
and even that's besides the point, because we've all seen that there are a lot of YouTubers with their Rift, and it kind of pisses a lot of people off because realistically, all of those YouTubers could not have possibly purchased the unit within the first 10-20 minutes, and it's really frustrating to see that famous people, allegedly famous people, that's arguable, but that they can get their shit so easily, and then the person who ordered maybe 5 minutes after from home, and they're just a regular person, they still don't have their Oculus, and it's frustrating all over the damn place. And Vive had their own problems, but Vive is in nowhere near as bad shape as Oculus. And then the backers, the Kickstart backers are so fucking, they're really upset, especially a lot of them who have been with them since developer version 1 or DK. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I think that's what's kind of bullshit. It's the fact that I understand if you're going to try to get the word out to the public, you want people to try the unit at Best Buy so that way they can go, ooh, this is actually kind of cool. I'm a believer of VR. And I understand even if you really want, the celebrities to kind of like push your product and get people to go, oh, wow, this person's doing this. What is this? I don't understand this product. Here's the thing. There is a colossal subset of people who have already said, dude, I want this. And they're not delivering it to the people who said, dude, I want this and I'll pay for this right now. Why would you not take their fucking money? Why are you sending these units? I mean, unless you have the units to spare, why the fuck are you sending these units out now? Why don't you just wait until fucking June? Why don't you wait until the units are available and then people won't complain? This is such a stupid PR move. And I don't think they acknowledge it. I don't think they acknowledge how stupid of a move this is. And it's really kind of frustrating because it's simple, man. It's so simple. Release the product, but also be able to meet demand. Like, how many dev kits have they released? How much like feedback have they gotten about the number of people who wanted this device? And how could they be any more woefully underprepared for the amount of demand? Like, I mean, they were able to fulfill how many orders? Like 20,000? Like, how is that okay? Do you really think only 20,000 people were going to buy this thing? How many people are on Earth? Like, come on, dude.
I had no idea it was that many. Honestly, is that how many people got fulfilled?
I don't know, man. I'm making numbers up. I'm just mad.
Okay, all right. Yeah, and the really frustrating part, or the even more frustrating part, is the fact that their PR team is really just eating shit. And it's so, I feel bad for them, but not really, because they kind of fucked up. So what they basically said is that it's a management and manufacturing problem, and that means that somebody at the top didn't want to hire somebody who understood management and overhead, so they went ahead and cheaped out, did it themselves, and they didn't realize the demand that was there. And the other problem is that they said, or what is openly being thought from like, you know, top reviewers and top interviewers and tech magazines, is that Oculus took a deal with companies so that they would be able to ship products to their stores ahead of time. So they did this before any pre-orders happened, and they just kind of, you know, they're basically throwing us under the bus is what's happening.
Oh yeah, most
for
definitely.
profit.
And it's really frustrating as somebody who did pre-order that I have to deal with this. I mean, come on, man. I within the first hour said, dude, I will pay you $600. No, at the time it was $700 with tax and shipping. I will give you that money to get in on this cutting edge technology when nobody really has faith in your product in the general public. I mean, like, these are hardcore people that are like, dude, I am willing to make sure your product succeeds, and I'm willing to get my hands on this tech, as flawed or as imperfect as it may be. And the fact that they're doing that is just really frustrating. I mean, how is that fair to the people who waited in line? You know, essentially what this is we're standing outside of a nightclub, and the bouncer is letting in all these fucking people and going, like, we're all standing in line, and the bouncer goes, okay, no.
They were on the list.
You need to wait. And it's like, okay, fine. And then as we're waiting, he's letting random people who are walking on the street go, hey, you want to come in? And letting them in. It's like, how the fuck is that fair? Like, you're waiting in line. You clearly want this product. You clearly want to buy this product. My fucking grandma's not going to go to Best Buy and buy the Oculus Rift. No standard person who's walking around is going to buy a fucking Oculus Rift like that. Sure, you're going to create a little bit of word hype, but that doesn't mean people are going to go out and spend $700 on a headset and then another fucking $1,000 on a computer. That's fucking ludicrous. So you need to cater to the people who have the tech, who have the ability to run this thing and have the desire to pay for it immediately.
Yeah, so where are you on your pre-order? Because I know like the general date when you're getting yours, but are you going to fulfill a refund, or are you going to ask for a refund? Are you selling it off? Are you doing, like, what are you up to with that? Because I know that you're pretty pissed and you're going to go with Oculus's competition, the Vive. So yeah, where are you?
So essentially what I am planning on doing is I've sold my Rift very early. I'm not going to say the number again. But I was one of those, and a lot of people would call me a scalper, but it was just one of those things where after my
You weren't happy.
I mean, not only was I very, very not happy with how Oculus was doing things, but I was in the middle of my parents' divorce, so not only was I not staying at home because we had to get the fuck away from my dad, I just didn't have the money. I mean, we were like really, really fucking struggling, and I mean, we're still fucking struggling, but you know, we're doing a little bit better. Actually substantially better compared to before. So it's, you know, I eventually reached that point where I was like, well, dude, I might as well sell this thing. And then lo and behold, I go onto eBay and these pre-orders are selling for fucking buku bucks. So, I opted to sell it. Basically my spot in line. So, once it ships, I'm going to take that and I'm going to send it to the guy who won the item. And then with the money that I'd received for that, I'm going to kind of stick it to Oculus a little bit, and I'm going to jump onto the Vive train. And, you know, it's funny because I think based on a lot of, you know, impressions, I think I'd still be interested in getting an Oculus, but it would definitely be at a point where I'm like, I don't want my Vive anymore. So that's going to have to be really kind of particular situation in which I would be willing to get rid of the Vive. I haven't tried it, so I mean, I don't know. Maybe I will ask for my money back immediately. I have no idea. But I'm expecting to enjoy it. I'm going in with a lot of optimism. But I think I'm not alone in that. I noticed that on eBay, a lot of people are selling their Oculus Rift pre-orders because it's bullshit. I mean, how the fuck is this okay? I mean, it's really, really just stupid. And both. And you know what? I'm not even going to say that it's only Oculus. It's also
Yeah, it's not.
It's also HTC. Both companies are so not ready to fucking meet this demand, and not only they're not ready to meet the demand, their fucking support is possibly the worst in the entire fucking industry, especially HTC. I
Yeah,
tried to.
HTC.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, HTC. I believe that they were about to file for bankruptcy, but instead, what they did, they said that after the next HTC One phone, the 10, I believe, is they're not going to be making phones anymore. So that way, they can focus more on other technologies, and obviously, that kind of means that they're most likely going to look more into VR and working directly with Steam. But however, they're still releasing the HTC 10, which a lot of people are excited for. But I mean, I'm just glad that they're not bankrupt. They're not filing for bankruptcy because they're a great company. One of my favorites manufacturers for electronic goods. But yeah, I mean, it's not just Oculus. You're right. It's they're both kind of flopping over and around themselves, and I've heard a lot of support thread stories about them. So, yeah, sorry. What were you trying to say? Because I know that you were gonna rip a 1 into 5.
It's just that people are really excited for this technology. It's so cutting edge,
Very.
and it's so different from anything we've ever had before. I mean, a lot of people compare it to the 3D TV revolution we had, but it's just so much different than that because essentially what you were doing with 3D TVs was just getting a limited amount of content on a TV screen, which is just it might as well be an unaltered TV screen with like this like flickering ability that is able to create kind of poor 3D. This is pretending that you're there. This is pretending that you're in an environment in of its own. So the amount of excitement for a technology like this, especially a competent version of this technology, no 90s bullshit fucking VR, real
Virtual
like
Boy.
yeah, oh, Jesus, actual virtual reality. I think a lot of people are excited about the prospect and they want to jump in. And I think the fact that HTC is handling this so laxly, I mean, I am a huge fan of the HTC phone as well. One of my favorite phones was the HTC M8, and I imagine the M10 is going to be fantastic as well. But they really need to get on the ball with this shit because both Oculus and HTC are taking advantage of the fact that people want these devices so bad, and they're releasing these products with problems. I mean, everything from the red smear effect on the Oculus Rift to the God Ray effect on the HTC Vive. I mean, these are issues that
I have not heard of these.
yeah, it's these lighting effects that happen on the screen where like if you get an extremely dark image and the color red is on there on the Oculus, the entire screen becomes red. Like it just fills your entire field of vision with this nasty like smeared red effect, and it's like what the fuck. And then with the Vive, under certain circumstances, I believe it's black background with white text. The white text will God ray all over the place. It'll be like this shimmering effect, and it's really immersion breaking. It's really kind of ugly, and I think that's really kind of bullshit. I mean, you've had HTC Vive has had one dev kit to figure that shit out, and Oculus has had fucking 2. So you'd think by now they'd go, okay, what are the issues that we have? Let's fix them. Let's make this shit ready. But unfortunately, it just seems like they didn't do that. It seems like they ran for the finish line full speed, and now they're just kind of, their product is just not up to snuff. But yeah, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Oculus is actually doing this. It's good to get the word out, but if you're gonna burn the people who built you up, then I think that you just made a really horrible. I mean, you were fucking with your base. You were fucking with your fan base, and that's really fucking stupid.
So, how much VR experience have you had? Because, well, no, I want you to tell
None.
me how much you've had. None. Okay, not even like a Google Cardboard.
Yeah, Google Cardboard. That's about it.
Yeah, same as me. I bought a ViewMaster VR helmet, and that was really enjoyable. But it kind of cramped up my hands because it was one of those type that didn't have a head strap. And I mean, like even just that, it was one of the best gaming experience I've ever had. And I played The Room, or The Chair,
Yeah.
and that scared the fuck out of
It's
me.
so good.
Dada, dada.
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck.
Nope, nope,
No.
nope, 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 nope. You're a dad. You know what it's like. Nope.
Yeah. And just like, oh, I don't want to say it because it's kind of like, if you never played it, you can play it without the VR experience. And I would say that arguably it's still enjoyable, even without it, except it won't be right in your face. So you'll have the, because the Viewmaster was sitting in my hands, I was able to like take my face away every once in a while whenever I would get too freaked out. And I'd be like, oh shit. And I put I throw my hands out. I'm like, oh God. So I mean, even my fiance, she's a very much a casual gamer, and during this intro sequence, whether it's a tutorial, Google's tutorial, even, it's like called Arctic Experience,
Yeah.
and she was like, "Whoa!" Because there's like whales and seagulls and a fox, and she's like, "Wow, like this is really cool. Like, can I have it?" Because I wanted to return it because I want to get a different one because that one, it cramped up my hands really bad, and it actually looked like somebody was opening the box and playing with that particular product at the store.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm with you, man. I want VR too, but I don't see it happening right now.
Yeah, I think this year is definitely going to be the year of VR, but I think that if they want to succeed, they really do need to figure their shit out immediately.
All the problems that they have sure do sound like firmware problems, but they can obviously also be problems on a hardware side. So I really do hope that they fix that stuff either with a firmware update or with like a free what do you call it, recall, but that's really doubtful because they're handling production badly, so a recall would just add to the shitstorm that they're both in right now.